Shame.
Pile of Shame, episode 2. And this is the stuff that I have that I haven't built yet.
Shame.
So right off the top, it looks like this isn't very much. Admittedly, there are many YouTubers who have significantly larger amounts of unbuilt still-in-box minis. This is not a contest. I'm not trying to beat anybody. This is me, and this is you, and we're talking hobby, and that is all this is about. However, that being said, I don't like having this big a hobby deficit just hanging around. Last week, we talked about the things that are built, that are waiting to be primed. This week, the things that have yet to be built. Let's start off with things that are simple, like sealed boxes. For example, this copy of Cursed City from its original release. This copy in particular is still in its cellophane, untouched, unopened. Should I do an unboxing? Make sure to let us know in the comments. I was so excited about Blackstone Fortress when it came out. I still am excited about that game. Blackstone Fortress is so neat and so cool. And so when they released Cursed City, I still had my hype up about this game. Unfortunately, I haven't really been able to play Blackstone Fortress at all. It's opened, everything's assembled, everything's primed, more on that later. And I tried to play solo once, and I got through a mission, but I don't really have anybody to play with, although that's changing. More on that later, probably not this video. That meant when this became available, the idea of going through a Age of Sigmar town and hunting vampires with these really cool new vampire hunter and hero miniatures. The miniatures in this box are awesome. They're awesome. I would use them for D&D or other role-playing games. Like, they're just really cool looking. So I got the box with excitement. And then seeing just how little I've been playing Blackstone Fortress meant that it didn't make sense to open the box yet. So it's still here, sealed, waiting for me to have just a little bit more time and get deeper into my hobby deficit so that I don't just have more miniatures sitting around waiting to be painted and have a game open that I know I'm not going to be able to play just yet. So that's Cursed City. That's the easy one. Next up, in the items that are boxed and not yet assembled or put together, are all of these things. So first up, real quick, is the Operative Umbra 6. Now, you can see me unbox this miniature here on this channel. It was the first year of the Warhammer Plus app. It was the award figure, or at least one of the options for the award figure, and it is cool. I don't use assassins a lot, but when this is done, I think I will use him eventually. I've also been toying with whether or not to make the assassin itself removable from the scenery piece, because even just the head of the Sister Superior here, just a really cool looking scenery piece just to be able to have as maybe a vantage point in Kill Team, or to be able to use as scatter scenery around the board. I don't know, but you can see more about this one on the channel already. As I mentioned in the last video, I love Mordheim, and I love Mordheim Witch Hunters. I know a lot of people are going to say they're a mid-war band. I don't care. I love Puritans running around with swords and black powder pistols saying, "Burn the witch." It just makes a lot of sense for the Warhammer world for me. So I already have a decent, built from the original release box, warband of witch hunters. but some really cool witch hunters have since been released. Excluding the one from Curse City, there's also Hexbane's Hunters, which is for Warhammer Underworlds, and these guys are just a set warband. So it comes with a witch hunter disciple, and other characters that can be used as zealots, which really should probably make up a majority of the warband. I really go heavy on witch hunters and war dogs in the one that I currently have. And then my favorite box for my coming new witch hunters is the Van Denst family. The father miniature in particular, what's his name? Gallon. He actually looks like an older version of my existing witch hunter captain. So my headcanon immediately says that this guy is just the older advanced version. He's still leading a warband, he's still going into more time, he's still getting that weird stone, but now he brought his daughter as a zealot. So yeah, so that's these. Now I have also gotten a few of the Space Marine heroes. This was from the original release of the Death Guard Space Marine heroes when they were done a couple of years ago. I just picked up a couple blind boxes, and they were all, I got 3, I have 6 total. 3 of them are the same. Gerd the Foul, if anybody's looking things up. I have 3 of him. Fortunately, it comes with extra parts and pieces, so I will be able to basically make 3 bolter carrying Death Guard Marines. But I also have the Icon Bearer, and the Champion, and Scabath the Plague Flail. Now, don't tell Old Man Pan, but I'm secretly building a kill team of Death Guard that are specifically loaded out from Demon Hunters, Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, to fight his Grey Knights. Shh! Don't tell him. Don't tell him. It's gonna be a surprise. This is where my embarrassment really starts to show. These are all the sprues that are from box sets that are still waiting to be built. All of them are things I intend to build. These aren't things going directly into bits boxes or anything like that. These are things that are actually on the list to be built. Many of them are kill teams. The first ones here are the Corpse Grinder cult from the Necromunda box. I'm gonna run them as a Khorne kill team, but as of yet they are still on a sprue. These are some bits, actually. They weren't supposed to be in this video. Next are some Tau Fire Warriors, which came from the Kill Team 2018 second starter box, which included Reavers. They came with decals for Space Wolves, but I, of course, have used them for my own made-up chapter. And also Tau Fire Warriors. I'm intending to build a Tau kill team using just these parts, these bits. I don't know if it'll be super competitive, but I do think that it will do what I want it to do, in that it will be a Tau kill team. But have I built it yet? No. No, I have not. They are here on sprues. Next is the contents of the, is this a Soul Shackle box? Yes, of the Soul Shackle box. I am so excited about Adeptus Arbites and not so much the Dark Eldar, although I do want to build out the team because the accessory sprue has really neat things on it, like a bird. Like, birds are cool, but they have not been built out yet. So the only Arbites that I will be running are my version that are made from the Scout rules and using the Necromunda Enforcer models. Into the Dark. I still have both kill teams for Into the Dark on sprue. These really need to get made. These Navis Nobilite Oh no, these are the Groot. That's not what I meant to shake. These, the Navis Troopers, are some of my favorite that have been released in a really, really long time. And I really want to take special care to build them. I've actually worked out what the warband is going to be, how to build out the kill team. Because I've only got the one set, I worked out which ones I want to build. But have I done it yet? No. And so it's just kind of just taking up space. Next, and it should come as a little surprise, I have the original notorious kill teams still here on sprue, still waiting to get built. This is pretty embarrassing. I've had this for a long time. Also, I have a perfect shovel to put in the bruiser's hand, I kind of want to get on that so that it's done, so that I can have an authentic Death Court of Krieg complete with shovel. Anybody remember the Indomitus box? Came out a few years ago. Helped bring in 9th edition 40K. Yeah, here are all the Necrons for that. All of them. Still here on sprue. Haven't even screwed around, made a test thing or anything. Just sitting here. I've noticed that some YouTubers are actually going through and doing a big paint through of getting their Indomitus characters together. We'll see more about my Indomitus box in next episode. Then we have the Necromunda scenery from the box set that we talked about before. I am still working on these walls and pillars. They're part of my active build right now. And we've got the stairs and platforms, which I haven't even started on. There aren't as many of these, but I feel like it's a trickier build. I haven't tried to build any of them yet. I haven't really looked at the instructions either. So, yeah, that's coming. Make sure that you're following our socials to be able to see when I post updates about what I've actually completed. There's nothing new there yet. Now let's get into the neat stuff. The stuff that is literally decades old. All the other things that I've shown you were at least made within the last 5 to 10 years. This is an original Land Raider from its original release back in, what, 2001, 2002? I actually don't remember. Is it on the box somewhere? Back in 2000. 2000. This was the first major model of the new millennium. So, yeah, it is still complete in the box. Got the accessory sprue. I actually have a couple of these in here because I was, back in the day, you used to be able to order bits directly from Games Workshop. A lot of them were metal, but you could also get plastic sprues. And long story short, I needed a lot of these accessory sprues to be able to get extra storm bolters for my rhinos, for my original Space Marine army. So what that meant was I had a lot of extras. So I have the original one from in here, and then I threw in an extra one so I could put extra things on the tank. We still have the main body sprue, complete with the engine, back and front. We've got the back of the stacks as well as the engine. We've got the internal bits for the computer station and the other side, which would go to one of the outside doors. The floor of the interior. Honestly, this looked bigger before. It's starting to feel like the tank actually isn't that big. It's been so long since I've actually seen one in person. Here are the weapon fittings for the las cannons and the heavy bolter sponsons. The sturdy plastic sides of the tank. Back in the day, I had the inkling that I was going to hinge all of the doors so that it could open and close. I don't know that I still have that inkling. I think I just kind of want to get it built, but we will see. Then we have the old school Land Raider instruction book. Oh. Here it's got all the different ways that you can build it out. And it opens up like this in kind of like a landscape instead of portrait. It's a really neat little booklet. So that's the old Land Raider, fresh off the factory floor in 2000. It's 23 years ago. Now I've got one last box, one last thing to show. And now the piece de resistance, direct from Warhammer World in Nottingham. Back in 2003 or 2004, the Thunderbolt fighter. This is a big resin piece of Warhammer history. They apparently changed the model so that it could hold a new standard flight stand, but I have the OG from way back when they released the original Imperial armor, including the stapled together instruction sheet, which it's not super detailed. Fortunately, there are not a lot of parts. We do get one sheet of clear plastic for the windscreen, for the canopy. It's hard to see in this. We have so many engine and thruster parts in these bags. Now, I pre-cleaned everything in advance. Well, not everything. Some of the gates are still on here, but I've given it all a pretty solid scrub so that it's ready to work on once I'm ready to tackle it. But I don't know about you, Forge World resin really makes me insecure about my abilities to work with Warhammer stuff. I've seen the trials and tribulations that people go through putting together those Titans, and the Manta, whew, the Tau Manta. So even something as simple as this, I'm a casual hobbyist. I just don't work on big hobby projects like that. So it's very intimidating. Very intimidating. Got the pilot and the canopy here. I did buy one of the newfangled flight stands for it to use eventually. It doesn't come with the same adapter, so I'm gonna have to cut into the body or use my Dremel that I own but have never actually used on very much to cut a hole to make this work, but I haven't even figured out how that would go. There are wings and all the things that go along with the wings, including the angle jets, because it is a VTOL. Even though it is an air superiority fighter, it can fight in space and in the air. Then of course we've got the big body pieces, the drums for the guns, and it's just so many tiny parts. Ooh, one of the jets fell out of the bag. I should put that back in. And then even tinier little bits here. Oh, these are the landing gear. I'm not using the landing gear. I'm gonna have mine always flying, but I have seen people who have used the landing gear, and it is impressive. Let's just pop this back in there. Boop. The hole in the bag. There is a hole in the bag. That is why it fell out. That is Pile of Shame, Episode 2. These are the things that are still on sprue and have yet to be built. Episode 3 is the most shameful of all.
Shame.
It will be a complete report on the things I've built, the things I've primed, and the things that are waiting to be painted. As I mentioned before, if you would like to see the updates on the things that I'm working on, please make sure you're subscribed to our socials. They are down in the description below. Make sure you tune in for all the video games that Dan will be playing, and Mech Warrior Monday, every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific for a live chat with the Mech Warriors. And I will see you with more shame next week.
Shame.